post-millennial here. Joe Biden breaks silence, calls into Kamala event. Trump is still a danger to the community. There are so many questions here as to this strange occurrence. And there's another story, which we'll get to in just a bit. There are rumors going around about Joe Biden having been in an emergency medical scenario when he was in Vegas. And apparently the jet that he was on, like Trump, the Biden was supposed to land and then be rushed to a hospital, but they decided to fly back to the East Coast and bring him to Johns Hopkins instead. And the plane was flying so fast that it was shaking uncontrollably. However, everything's fine because Joe Biden called in and Siraj Hashmi says, yeah, he's dead. Yep. So let me play this for you. Kamala Harris speaks to Biden over the phone at campaign headquarters. Here you go.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
The recording.
And we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do, everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching the kid.
It's just a guy with a sound button.
Kid, I love you.
I love you, Joe. Oh.
Why did that not seem real?
That was a recording.
If you listen to the whole recording, it sounds either massively edited or AI.
Let me play it again.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the
recording?
Yes.
She was about to say recording.
Yes. What else could she have said?
Hold on, wait.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
She said the call. She was going to say recording.
You listen to the whole call. I'm putting in quotes call. Like it sounds like AI.
They planned this, and I really do think Joe Biden is maybe he's just sick or
very sick,
convalesced
in a stasis
and
pod.
He will show up next week, or this week. I really doubt. I think he will give a joint session. That's what he's supposed to do. It's supposed to be like a joint session or something.
I mean, typically the president would appear before Congress with Netanyahu, right? But they're saying right now because he has COVID, it's going to be Kamala Harris. They do have a built-in excuse to keep him away.
He was supposed to appear before Congress, but he's not going to?
Well, so Netanyahu is supposed to give a joint address.
Oh, right.
And sometimes the president would be there.
Oh, okay.
Biden said in
last week, Laura Loomer said that there was an emergency in the presidential plane last week.
That's right. I saw that.
So let's.
But that was the first week of July. And she was saying that Joe Biden was suffering a medical emergency. The media said she was lying because the plane landed and he gets out and he was fine. I think she was right. I think she
was right too.
But the question is the severity of the emergency. I think it's very possible that Joe Biden really does have Parkinson's because he's done the cornholio hands. And then people have pointed out, if you watch his speeches, he doesn't blink. And then someone said there was a viral conspiracy theory where they said it's AI. This proves it. He doesn't blink. And then people were like, as if they don't know how to make AI blink. No, but when you have Parkinson's, you don't blink that often. And your hands also don't move properly. He's being visited by this neurologist. Maybe the medical emergency Laura Loomer was getting a lead on was not something that was going to put him in the hospital forever or kill him. It was maybe he had a seizure. Maybe he had a mild seizure and they were panicking and they were like, go. And then he made a slight recovery and was able to walk off the plane.
Or also a reaction from all of the drugs they've been pumping him with.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
So
Death has consequences.
But in all seriousness, Valentina is correct. Another theory that people have been bringing up is that he's an 81-year-old man. And the theory is they've been giving him uppers to keep him going, and his kidneys and liver are shot. Yep. So now he's having extreme pain and suffering from issues.
He's 81 years old, for God's sake. His body's going to give up at some point.
If you believe that's a real person up there. The press corps, remember the press corps, the day of the debate? They were worried about a medical emergency.
Yeah, they were mad they were denied
And
access.
when he walked out, he sounded like a medical emergency. Like we were here watching it. He sounded like a man who just woke up from a coma.
I'm playing this sound bite for you again. Listen to this.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
Ugh. She was going to say recording. She said Rick.
Yes.
She's
She
the
said
worst
Rick.
vice president in history. She can't even keep the story straight.
Right.
She said Rick. Yeah. Are they screwing with us?
Yes.
Like, are they trying to get conspiracy theorists riled up?
Tim, the CIA in its infancy was hiring magicians to make tricks on people and brainwash them. They had John Mulholland Houdini's best friend, work with him to make magic tricks on people. We are stuck in a dark spell. That's what they're doing right now. They're psycho magicians.
I think there are a lot of things that are weird about this. Like if he really did have a medical emergency on the plane, they were like, just kidding, we're going to fly back and go to Johns Hopkins. That's weird, right? The president typically gets treated at Walter Reed Medical Center. Why would they break protocol like that?
What if this is literally just a call they did a while ago that wasn't pre-planned, and they were just like, what is that 30 Rock bit? You guys,
I love 30 Rock.
The one where she's like, POTUS isn't running, I'm running? Because I saw that
the
everywhere
one where
today.
Jack Donaghy is like, because we have this AI, we have computer technology, we can take all of the sound bites of Jerry Seinfeld and put them into any show because they have all the recordings of.
Right.
So they're like, we need Joe Biden to say a handful of things. It's mutual. Yeah, I'm with you there, kid. You know, what does he say?
Dog face, pony boy.
They can easily, and some people are saying it's AI and all that stuff. She says almost as recording. Like she is. I think it's a recording.
She's giving it out.
But maybe Biden is alive. Maybe.
But he's not well.
Maybe medically.
Yeah.
You can see that he's not well. Even in the debate with Trump, they wanted him to be sitting down.
Yo, this is crazy.
I don't think we have him right now. I think we almost had a week where the former president was assassinated and the current president is dead.
There's a joke, and they were like, so who do you think is going to be president? And it's whoever survives till November.
Well, with
it's
this
Battle Royale.
with the Secret Service director, that's
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
very tough.
jeez.
Honestly.
Right. There's no reality. Everything seems like it's collapsing. Watching that lady answer her non-answers today, there's nothing.
If we do not, okay, so this is weird. Like this video from Kamala Harris, outside of her saying recording, which is weird. The video itself is just very strange. I was watching it on Fox News, and it sounded very weird. And I'm just like, is anybody else weirded out by the fact that they did this weird meeting? Like weird meeting where Biden just spits out some words randomly for what?
He's been spitting out words randomly for so long.
Yeah, but what I mean is, why didn't Biden put up a video saying he could have put up a video resigning? Instead, we get this weird letter. People are saying it's not an official letterhead. The signature doesn't match. And that's true. It's signature. When you compare his signature, actually, I think I have it right here. Natalie Danilician pulls this up. When you look at the signature on the letter compared to his signature on executive orders, the executive order signatures are all identical. The signature on the letter is different. You can look at the shape of the B, how it's written. Okay, fine, whatever. This one time, Biden decided to write the B differently.
Even a 10-year-old can see that those are not the same.
Well, I'm sure Jill Biden has forged her husband's signature before, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be him to sign it. And part of it, it's all kind of a formality anyways.
Look at what they did with Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Right. And Dianne Feinstein.
Feinstein.
I mean, she was in terrible shape. It was actually really sad to see her at the end because it was just like clear that no one in her family was stepping in to be like, it's time to leave. I mean, even Sheila Lee Jackson, the congresswoman from Texas who just died, last week, she was in better cognitive shape, but she had pancreatic cancer, had announced it a month before, and still stayed in office. Like, why would you not withdraw? There's another congresswoman.
And she was going after Trump, even in her last day.
There was another congresswoman who has a neurodegenerative issue. She's still in office. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But there's a question of like, why won't you guys leave office? And the answer is because the staff around you need you to be there to move on. I mean, that was the thing about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The thought was all of her clerks are writing her opinions, and they're like, yes, she's definitely with us.
Mitch McConnell froze on camera
But at
multiple
least he's,
times.
like,
Do
announced
you remember
he's
Good Morning Sunday Morning?
Yes.
That was awesome, by the
These
way.
people
gonna pull that
belong
one
in
up.
a nursing home. That's my opinion.
Well, that's what the White House is.
Yeah.
A very expensive nursing home
Yeah, it's the
that's
best.
giving billions to foreign nations,
Yeah, you
letting
fund it. We fund it.
illegals in.
All right, here, wait. We're just for good measure. This is from 3 years ago.
Oh, the best
day
insider
that
trader
we
of all
lost
time.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. We have a responsibility.
What?
Yes.
Yo,
This is possession.
could it be that there is no Washington, D.C., and all of these people are AI and they've been AI the whole time? Like, when have you ever seen Nancy Pelosi in a room?
It's
with
dead
Joe
internet
Biden?
theory in real life. That's what it is.
What if just these people aren't real? They've never been real.
I did walk by Adam Schiff in real life, and he seemed fake. Like his face would open up. and
Yeah.
there's like a creature behind it.
I've literally seen most of these people, and we live in DC.
Yeah.
So. But it is funny when people claim IRL is like fake.
Hey, you're not fake. I see you, Tim.
Yeah, but they'll claim you.
That's what a robot would say. Come
right.
on.
No, they'll chat and they'll be like, "This is pre-recorded, scripted. It's not real or whatever."
Right.
Even though we like reference time.
Okay, let's get a flamethrower. I'll burn something.
Yeah. It is 8:28 on the East Coast, and you're listening live.
You got to hold a newspaper up though.
Very live, guys.
I think one of the issues is that we used to be a country where like the transition of power was actually something we looked at with like dignity, right? There was like an honor in
Respect.
stepping away, right?
Yes.
I mean, that was George Washington's whole thing, right? He's like, I could continue to be president, but I don't think that's right. The nation has to learn to go on. And, this has obviously not been the case for some time with a lot of politicians. We're able to name some examples, but it is I must remain in power because I don't believe anyone else can do it. And also maybe on some level, I believe I've earned this. I deserve this. And
Also-
and it's to the detriment of the voters.
Also for them to buy a nicer house, a nicer car, special
Well,
interest. That's
It's the insider trading.
exactly. Also, you get bought. You get bought. More than 15, 20 years in office, that says something. That
Well,
says that you've been bought by the establishment.
When you leave Congress, you keep your clearance. And so the lobbyists love that they can hire a former member of Congress who can go in and lobby on their behalf. Plus, they know him, and that's the dirty game. I got to pull up this tweet from Brett Weinstein. Let me grab this one because I think he absolutely nails it. And it's similar to something that I've said, but I appreciate the way he's articulated it. Let me try and find this post. Here we go. I got it right here. He says, I don't know what their original plan was, but I suspect we're way past all the contingencies that were considered in advance, and this is what things are like when the deep state is winging it. Maybe. That's one way to put it. My view is that the grandchildren of the liberal world, the liberal economic order, have no idea how to run the machine, and their grandparents have fallen off. Or here's one way to put it. Joe Biden quite literally is one of the architects of the liberal economic order. I shouldn't say literally, but what is this? We're talking about the 50s. So how old would he have been in his 20s, 30s? He's working in politics at this time, working for the men after World War II who created what's called the liberal economic order. Not a conspiracy theory. I'm going to pull this one up for you guys. CFR, liberal world order, they call it. So this is it right here. The Council on Foreign Relations website. What is the liberal world order? It was the structure of the global order created after World War II. Joe Biden is a child of this machine, and there is no one after him to inherit this who knows how to maintain the global order. That is, how many military bases do we have around the world? All Japan, Germany, etc. They have no idea how to make the machine work. So they have no one who can step up and become president and run this. That's why Joe Biden, who is like next in line for these people, I think what we're seeing is they're looking around being like, well, we told people not to have kids. We didn't teach our kids. They became degenerate, and now they can't actually run the United States military-industrial complex empire, and it's falling apart. And the best we have is Kamala Harris. That's what they chose.
Well,
okay, then then here's my conspiracy. My conspiracy is Donald Trump is actually the deep state, and he's pretending not to be the deep state, because if that's not the case, then there's no conspiracies anymore. Okay, I want the conspiracy to exist, so I'm gonna. Donald Trump is the leader of the military-industrial complex. So.
I'd always thought for a while that the Joe Biden or the Biden administration, the staffing around him, anyone who'd transitioned from campaign to administration and then was probably going back on the campaign, was fighting whatever powers that be were saying like, you have to leave, you have to turn over. He did run saying he was going to be a bridge candidate. He postured like he would be a four-year president, and then turn it over to like the newer, younger, more diverse future of the Democratic Party. And I do think that he got into office and disrupted a lot of plans by saying, no, I'm going to stay. I want 2 terms. I deserve to be an 8-year president, and you can't make me leave. I think the fact that he did not leave earlier, even though we would have Jen Psaki saying, oh, he hasn't made a decision, even though Biden would say, no, I have made a decision. That carried on through Karine Jean-Pierre. I mean, there was a lot of confusion over if Joe Biden was running again for a long time, which seems very strange considering that, like, typically a successful president will run for a second term. And so I think that was discord within the two forces, the ones who were actually literally occupying the White House, anyone in the Biden machine, and then, whatever overarching power.
I'm going to clarify the point that I was just making. There are no conspiracies anymore. Kamala cannot run this. If you think that there is a grand scheme behind the scenes, the only assumption is that Donald Trump is the ruler of the liberal economic order because it's working and he's winning. The reality is the deep state elements that have tried to attack Donald Trump, that desperately tried to prevent Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, the populists, from taking over the parties, have completely and utterly failed over the past 10 years and are only left with a morsel that is a morsel of control that is Kamala Harris and her crackpot campaign. Donald Trump is winning. The machine has failed, and it is done. There's no conspiracies left. That's it. I mean, the fact that it is now mainstream, RFK Jr. is running saying, CIA killed my dad and my uncle. Ron Paul comes out like, oh, yeah, the CIA killed him. It's not even, 10, 15 years ago, it was laughably conspiratorial to claim that the U.S. government killed JFK. Now it's just everybody on like, oh, yeah, of course. Of course. We're like 10 years out from them being like, oh, yeah, moon landing? Yeah, not real. Yeah. There's just no conspiracies left because whatever was trying to hold the narrative together imploded on itself. There is nothing.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.